I do want to understand the cultural side though, because, you talked about it in like even choosing the right daycare. It's a good analogy. I don't think anybody would take offense to that. I think it shows like a certain level of care, because the same thing that I would do, like trying to find the right daycare for my children, is because I care about them deeply and I want them to have the best possible experience. I want them to be the safest that they can be, and I want them to be cared for in a certain way. And now you're thinking about your agents, and there's some inexplicable or sometimes like off to the side explicable part of like culture that you could feel.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I toured schools. We actually don't go to the school that my kids get the bus to. We actually drive them to the next school over, which we're actually out of district for. And this was my wife's decision, by the way, so I can't take the credit, but I'm like, why can't they just go to the school that they get the bus to? And she's like, it's just a feeling thing. I love that other school. So we actually drive our kids to a nearby school that is just out of district, and it's feel, but I was like, it's culture, right? Like feel is culture. There's something about this culture. What is it about Tango's culture that you think is unique, and how much of that culture do they take on versus if they were to, run on their own without a Tango in between?
Yeah, the culture thing is a ambiguous sort of thing to try to put in a box. And we talk about it a lot because we know we do have a good culture, and try to analyze, okay, why is that? What is it that makes that up? We talk even to a lot of our lender partners, who end up becoming close friends. We go on trips together and stuff like that. And when we actually do our large Tango rewards trip is when it becomes really evident. We'll take 100 people somewhere. The feel that we get with all of our people together and the feeling that they all get. I mean, they all want to spend time together. I mean, we went to Mexico in February, and the last day we had this rainy day, but we had this like big area set up, a private area by the pool. And I remember I was up in my room, I'm like getting some work done. I look out, I'm like, I want to see if anybody's there. I'm like, everybody's there. And it's raining, and they're all sitting out in the rain. And I ended up talking about it at the dinner that night. I go on a lot of different kinds of trips in the industry and stuff like that. And I never would have thought on any of those other ones that if it was raining out that everybody just wouldn't be holed up in their rooms, instead of like everybody is sitting outside in the rain. They're talking, they're playing cards, they're socializing it. And some of the lenders that were there commented on that too. It's like your people actually want to be together and they want to spend time together. What creates that? I mean, people attract like people, right? I mean, maybe it all goes back to, we're nice guys, we won't screw you over. I mean, maybe it just starts there, and then we bring other nice people in and we have a great collection of nice people. The other thing that I've thought about culture is, culture doesn't necessarily always mean good culture. We have a good culture, but sometimes having a good culture is the absence of bad culture. So you let a bunch of negative things in and things that are toxic for the culture. Some companies do it for the sake of, there's a lot of money. That's a high producer. We're making money. But if you let things that are not good for your culture in, you can spoil your culture as well. So, a little bit of, again, basic stuff, just treating people well, being nice to everybody, you attract more of that. And then a little bit of trying to avoid letting anything in that would be negative to the culture.
So Danny Meyer, the restaurateur, has, I think, my favorite culture and leadership quote around this, which is that your culture is the sum of the behaviors that you celebrate minus the behaviors that you tolerate.
That's good. Yeah.
I've thought about that often because, much what you said just there, it's like, it's not just what we allow and like, it's actually what we tell people we don't like. And you tell people what you don't like with your actions, because you could say, hey, like that's unacceptable at our culture. But if you don't do anything about it, if you're not like, we will protect this good thing at all costs and hold on to that, people know that. Right. And they feel that. So, you're celebrating those things that are important to you, like doing good business. I mean, you talked about great partnerships with your lenders. You're partnered with our lender in Rocket Pro now, and our teams are working together, and the feedback on both sides from what I've seen, it's all been extremely positive. And like, hey, like the deals are super clean. These agents, they know what they're doing. There's structure in place. When our underwriters call them, they respond. Right. Because that's the other thing too, is like, you'll get an agent who's like, I want my underwriter to respond to me right away. But then the underwriter will send them a clarification, or be it a text message or a phone call, or something in a portal. And they're like, but now I don't hear from this agent for 2 weeks. And then 4 days from closing, the agent's like, where are we at on my deal? It's like, no, where have you been? Right. So it's like a very two-way relationship, but that gets built into the culture of both organizations. And that's what allows two people to work together quite seamlessly. That is what I'm hearing, in the early days since our teams have launched. There's something in the water. I don't know what it is, but you're obviously doing a very good job at it.
And, on that lender relationship side too, I've talked about this at some of our talks where I'm giving talks or speaking in front of our group. And when we've got lenders there, is like we throw the word partner around. Everybody's a partner. Their lenders are a partner, and the insurers are partners, and everybody's partners. But not everybody actually thinks about what the literal definition of partner is, and it's a two-way street. So, some people say, I want my partner to do this and this and this for me. And they look at it as, they're servicing me, but the word partner should be that you're caring about their business and understanding their business and trying to help their business as much as you're expecting them to look after your needs and your business. And I try to get that message out a lot, because if we're going to keep using the word partner, then, both sides have to act like, what the meaning of partnership is. So,
Yeah, that's very well said and certainly well felt.